So as you all know, we are going through very tough times nowadays. Achieving growth and profitability in our businesses is getting tougher every day. But the good news is that consumer trends are going so quickly that amazing new opportunities are appearing for you to grow and differentiate from other businesses. Let me do a very quick exercise today here. Please raise your hands if you have at home at least 2 connected devices. 100% of the room? Keep it up if you have at least 3 connected devices. Think about smartphones, connected TVs, video games consoles, tablets. Keep it up if you have 4. Wow, 5? Wow, 6? We have a bunch of geeks here. Eh? You can put them down. Don't worry, it's totally normal. We live in a hugely connected world. Do you remember the famous sentence from Descartes? I think, therefore I exist. I hope that after today's presentation you will be thinking, I'm mobile, therefore I exist. Why am I saying this? And I think you saw this picture yesterday, and you have probably seen it 1,000 times now. But I really want to spend a minute on this picture. Only 8 years of difference between both pictures. It's the same place, same event, huge difference. For me, this is the real test that technology is changing the way we live and we share. And this is only an event. Reality is that each day we are living, we are sharing, we are working, and we are buying more and more through our mobile screens. And this is a huge opportunity for us. Remember my sentence? I'm mobile, therefore I exist. So what's going on in this world? We have today in the world 2.4 billion people connected to the internet. Half of them, 1.2 billion, are connected through their mobile phones. Internet mobile traffic accounts today for 18% of total traffic. And it's growing hugely. It's been multiplied by 1.5 every year. I have no doubt that internet on mobile is going to be bigger than internet on the desktop. And it's not only about mobile, actually. So as we were saying, we are in a multi-device world. It's about tablets, it's about TVs, it's about video gaming consoles. The average internet users have 2.5 connected devices. This is not the average, as we have seen. Eh? But this doesn't stop. This is growing. Why? Because we will have new devices coming in. You saw yesterday the video from Google Glass. So the next wave is going to be what we call wearable devices, glasses. Samsung presented a couple of weeks ago the watch, the gear. Nike already has a bracelet. So this is going to continue increasing. And the key thing is that we don't stop moving between devices. You see there, we move between devices an average of 27 times a day. And with the wearable devices that are going to come, this is just going to continue growing. And of course, this is driving such a profound change in consumer behavior that it's also affecting the way we buy. And I want to share with you 3 key patterns. So the first one is mobile to store. 30% of the queries we receive on Google have a local intent. And what we have seen is that 60% of the people that do a local query actually go to the store. And 90% of them within 24 hours. So what we do in the mobile is very urgent, and it's something we want to do now. Okay, this is the mobile to store phenomenon. The second one, which is a phenomenon we have been hearing recently, the showrooming phenomenon. 84% of mobile shoppers use their mobile while in the stores. And they use it for everything. They use it to look for product information. They use it to compare prices. They use it to get to the store. I read an article from the Wall Street Journal recently that said store walls are becoming porous. And I think they are right. Because even people, if they're in the stores, they are also connected to their mobiles, and they are checking what is around and what is the offer we have around. There was a study done in the UK that said that 60% of the people that went out of the store without buying claimed that they were influenced by the smartphone in the point of sale. So how do we capture this opportunity? If you have stores, if you're a multi-channel retailer, how do we work the mobile to capture this opportunity? And the final one, and we have been talking extensively, is the mobile to desktop. More and more desktop conversions are also influenced by mobile. These are all the phenomena and all the patterns that are going on in the retail world. And this is my question to you. Do you think you are ready for the new multi-device consumer? You know what? I guess we are not. And I'm going to share with you, I think James gave a number yesterday, and he said 100 top retailers in the UK, only 43% have a good mobile experience. I did a test. 2 weeks ago, I actually was in an airport, at the airport, sorry, and I realized it was my mother's birthday 3 days later. And I said, since I'm here, I'm going to try to buy something, and it will be done. And I remember she needed a hairdryer. So, of course, I went into Google. I searched for a hairdryer. And look what happens when I click in the first results page. So this was the first experience. Wouldn't say it was too bad, but I didn't find what I wanted. Second experience, not very good. I went into organic results. I continue. Not very good experience, actually. And I said, well, it's kind of impossible to buy a hairdryer here, so I'm going to try something probably simpler, some flowers. So I did the same exercise. I went into Google. I looked for flowers, and this was the experience. Much, much better, I would say. So looks like flower companies are moving much more quickly to mobile and are really working on their mobile experience. I must say that I have seen a huge improvement in the last 3 to 6 months, and more retailers working on improving their mobile experience. But why? Why are we not ready? What is going on there? And when I talk to my customers, this is the first reaction I get. Well, you know, Fuen, we didn't know it was so big, or it was going to be so big. Well, I hope after the couple of days here, now you know. It's very big and it's going to be huge. The second answer I get is this one. Well, you know, when we get a lot of traffic on mobile, but we don't get a lot of business. Conversion rate is not very good. Is this true? I think Petri asked James Cashmore yesterday the same question. Do you remember the answer he gave? He said, for eBay, 1 out of 3 conversions are either done in mobile or influenced by mobile. I'm going to share with you a video. It's not eBay. It's an Indian retailer. And then we discuss. Can we share the video, please?
Myntra is based out of Bangalore. We are the largest fashion lifestyle retailer in India. We retail over 500 fashion brands, and we service customers across 400 different cities throughout India. Myntra was one of the first e-commerce websites to launch a mobile interface. We believe it's strategically very important for us because the next wave of online growth in India will come through mobile devices.
Companies are nervous in India to spend on mobile primarily because they see a lot of traffic coming from mobile devices, but they do not see transactions.
We were getting very good traffic on our mobile website, but somehow it was not converting actually into the transactions. So we shared this challenge with the Google team, and Google team suggested us a test
Our hypothesis was to test out that mobile helps bring traffic and conversions on the desktop. So what we started off is keeping everything constant. For a period of 15 days, spend some amount on mobile campaigns and then significantly increase it over the next 15 days and see, does that drive to higher traffic on your overall website, and does it also lead to higher conversions?
To set the test up, we did 4 things. First, we replicated Myntra's existing desktop campaigns into mobile campaigns. Second, we customized all their ad text to actually include mobile relevancy. Third, we augmented their existing campaigns with mobile-specific keywords. And fourth, we made sure that we got 100% share of voice on this extremely important channel by getting Myntra to be at the top. You know, the cost of acquisition from a mobile device is largely misunderstood. If you factor in assisted conversions, there is a drop in what it takes to acquire a customer via the mobile channel.
The results were amazing. We have got an increase in transactions and reduction in the cost per acquisition for us. We have got 30% jump in our mobile traffic, and surprisingly, we've got 7% jump in transactions in that test period.
For us to see an absolute jump of 7% was truly phenomenal and very, very encouraging.
We believe there is immense potential. Growth for online shopping will come from mobile devices, and we are fully committed to building a very strong differentiated experience.
If you're not on mobile, you're just not reaching the consumer.
I'm mobile, therefore I exist. What's going on mobile? In fact, what's happening is a lot of retailers are underestimating the real value that mobile has. And when we think about mobile, we really have to think differently, and we have to think about the full value of mobile. And there are 4 things, in fact, that we need to consider. Today, you are just typically looking at a small piece of this, which is mCommerce, which is what I can measure straightforward, right? But it's just a really small piece of it. We need to look, of course, we just saw a great example, the cross-device effect. It's difficult to measure. We will see, and I will explain you a bit later, what are the things that are coming up to help us measure this, and what are the tips we could do internally to measure this. But we need to consider the cross-device effect. The third one, and this is something we didn't talk much in retail, but honestly, there is a great opportunity to drive sales through call center. I know most retailers want people to finalize their purchase on the mobile, or even to go to the store, and they don't want to push the call center. But what we have seen, and I also work with telecom players in Spain, the most natural thing on a mobile is to call. If you have a call center that is actively selling, I will really encourage you to test and make your phone number visible on the web and clickable, and you will have a huge surprise. The flower business is a business that is really profiting from the mobile phone, and is capturing an increased number of sales, of transactions. So also you have to think on, am I able through mobile phone to increase sales on my call centers? Is this something I want to test? Is this something I want to do? And finally, of course, the mobile to store effect, which again is very difficult to measure, but we need to consider it when we think about mobile and when we think how much value mobile is generating to our business. And I want to share with you a final story. Do you know Shu? Is Shu in the room, by the way? They're not? I thought they were coming. See? Ah, they're over there. Congratulations, guys. I invited Shu 18 months ago to an event I was holding in Spain, and they shared with us what they were doing on mobile. And we were so impressed that I asked the e-commerce director to record a video for us so that we could share it in events like this. For those that don't know, Shu is a UK retailer. They are selling shoes, and it's not a very large retailer with a lot of resources, I would argue. It's kind of 100 stores, more or less, between the UK and Ireland, 3,000 employees, and 170 million pounds turnover. They launched their mobile site in 2008. Let's see what happened. Can we have the video, please?
We're Shu. We're one of the UK's leading fashion footwear retailers. And it would be fair to say that mobile is absolutely central to our plans for success over the next 5 years. And why is that? In very simple terms, it's because we think this year mobile will account for 35 to 40% of our internet sales. That's a big number. It's important we get it right. In hindsight, we know that our mobile strategy is three things. We have to sell, because we're a sales business. It needs to work with the way things are done in our business, so there are things we say no to as well as yes. And because we develop in-house, we need to get it right first time. We don't have a budget for failure. So it needs to make sense in terms of resources. In terms of what we do in mobile, we have, as I said, the iOS app. We have the mobile optimized site. If I tell you that the mobile optimized site has sales that are 15 times bigger than the app, you can see that it's a very easy decision for us to see that optimized sites are the best route for our business. So what's working? Well, what's working is a number of things. We have found a way to generate sales volume. That is crucial for our business. We are delivering growth. Sales are incremental. We are growing our mobile sales more than our desktop sales are declining. The behavior is very store friendly. Certainly in the case of smartphone, we see a customer who is 5 times more likely to look for their local store, 5 times more likely to reserve product in a local store. So mobile is fundamentally good for the whole business. Tablet is slightly different, but tablet delivers higher basket values and a better conversion rate. So it's good news in 2 very different ways. The change that we're managing is driven by data. Our data is simplistic. It's traffic, it's orders, it's conversion. But it's the data we need to manage this period of change. And we have a plan. We know that in 2014, we're moving all of our UK websites to a single responsive design website so that all of our experiences are good, whatever the device. By the end of next month, mobile devices will account for 50% of our web traffic. By the end of next year, we think mobile devices will account for 50% of our web sales. And we plan for change. And it's a change that is being driven by customers and is fundamentally forcing us to reappraise the way people shop. Thank you.
I'm mobile, therefore I exist. Do you agree? So now that we are all convinced that mobile is very, very important to the business, I guess you are all thinking about this. Okay, how do I go about it? What do I need to do? Where do I need to focus? I'm going to share with you 3 things in which we believe you should be putting your efforts. The first one, and it's probably not a surprise, is what we say, develop excellent mobile assets. Okay? When I am talking about mobile assets, I'm talking about the web, the app. We will talk about the app a bit later. But also, don't forget your newsletters. Okay? This is something you typically don't have in the scope, and they are also part of the mobile experience. And by the way, what I share with you in terms of mobile sites, I would argue that probably newsletters are not much better. Okay? So really take newsletter into consideration. So what is happening right now, when a customer goes into through a mobile and arrives into your site, and your site is not adapted to mobile, this is negatively impacting your business. There are some statistics here. 40% of the customers that go to a site is not adapted to mobile claim that they go to a competitor site. There is a research done that says that the average loading time of a page in mobile is 5 seconds, which is way too much. And finally, 55% of the customers say, when I go to a brand and I don't have a good mobile experience, the brand image is damaged. How much effort do we put in building our brand image, and how easy is it to damage it? So we really have to take care of this. I'm going to share with you a few of the learnings we develop working with retailers in user experience workshops. But the first tip I will give you is become mobile first. What does it mean, mobile first? I already have some retailers that tell me, you know, when we do new website developments, we think before about the mobile side than the desktop side. And this is having huge benefits for their business. Why? Because the mobile side forces you to simplify a lot. Simplify your offer, simplify your communications, simplify your operations. And it's hugely beneficial for the whole business. So if you think mobile first, I can tell you, you will not get it wrong. Just test it. The day you will be thinking mobile first, then you will be really betting on mobile. If your main page continues to be desktop, mobile is not going to be the priority. It's going to be desktop. Okay, so this is the key mental and strategic change I would love for you to go through in your companies. So what are the tips? Let's go, and we start with the basics. It's true that we talk about mobile, but reality is mobile or smartphone has a wide range of sizes. This is just the Samsung product range. It goes from 4 inches to more than 6. So we have to make sure our website is visible and the experience is good across devices and across sizes. Second thing, as you know, in the smartphone, is we navigate with the finger, so we need large buttons. And here I have a couple of examples of websites that we can claim have an okay mobile experience. But I want to stop in this one. This is one of my favorite examples. This is not a retail example. It's a housing agent company. This screenshot is the search filters screen. In mobile, we have probably, instead of putting this, we would have probably put a drop-down, in desktop, we would have probably put a drop-down menu. And we could have done this here also. But the beauty of this experience is that we are really thinking mobile, and we are really thinking about the thumb and about the fingers, instead of thinking of a common drop-down menu. And I think this is a much more beautiful mobile experience. You see the difference? Let's go through other recommendations. What I like about Amazon is that when you look at their site, their mobile site, you realize they have gone through the thinking on how does the customer buys online, through mobile and through desktop, and what is different. The reality is that if you look at the mobile site from Amazon, they have very light content. No book's description. It's just the author and the title. Why? In fact, they realize that when you shop through mobile, you are not on a discovery mode. It's more that I am with friends, and someone told me, have you read the last book of this author? And you just want to search by title or by author. While on desktop, you can be much more on discovery mode, and you want to read the details on the book. Here, they have on purpose taken the decision not to put all that description, but they make sure the experience, the loading of the page is much quicker, and the experience is much better. So what we need to think when we are on mobile is, what is our customer doing on mobile? What does he expect from mobile, and what is the process in mobile? And therefore, what is the exact information I need to give this customer on mobile? And it's not typically, okay, it's a simplification of desktop. What do I have to take out? Maybe I have to take out things, and I have to highlight others that are more important on mobile. And the killer feature is the one-click. The buying one-click, I have used it several times, and I always have the question, did I buy or not? It's so easy to buy. And it's part of the problem, probably, when we buy is the whole payment and the whole checkout process, right? Here, it's very, very easy. Regarding the checkout process, of course, we always say in desktop, don't ask people to register. Let them buy as guests. I would say here is even more important. Another feature I like, and this is the second example, in most of the webs, you typically ask people to put the city, the area, and the zip code. In reality, if I put the zip code, the rest could be auto-completed. right? In mobile, this should be key. Ask for the zip code and let the rest to be auto-completed. So when we always say in desktop, ask for as little information as possible, make it easy, here even more. And of course, quick payment methods. So if you have PayPal, you will see huge improvements in conversion in mobile because it's much quicker to check out. We were saying that mobile was probably the most multi-channel device we have. And I also recommend you, through the process, to allow for conversions in other channels. Don't force the customers to convert on mobile. Give them the options to convert in other channels. This is an example from Vodafone in Spain. You cannot read anything, but I will let you know. At some point, when you put the product in the basket, they are asking you, what do you want to do now? Do you want to finalize this in a store? Do you want to call the call center? Do you want to finish the process on desktop, so I will send you an email? Or do you want to continue on mobile? And depending on when you click, you will have a store locator, a place to send you an email so that I can continue and my basket is kept, or the mobile, a click to call, and I can immediately call the call center. Another nice way to do this is putting, the call center, they send me an email, a box that you put below the page, and it's following me through the process. So that at any time in the process, I can decide to continue in my desktop. This also works very well, and it's a nice way to track cross-conversions, cross-device conversions. You see, these are tips that you can follow to track them. What else? Geo features. Again, mobile allows people to go to the stores. Honestly, I have checked a few retailers' store locators, and experience is not great. I had hard problems finding good examples to share with you today. This is a store locator that works very well. So at some point, it's asking you, so do you want me to localize you and tell you what are the stores that are around you? This is MediaMarkt in Spain. Or you can put a zip code or a complete address. Currys in the UK also has a very similar experience. So imagine I've said, localize me. I have the list of stores that are close to me. And then I click on the store information. And also very important, clickable buttons. Send me an email, or I want to call. Okay? This is the best way to work on the multi-channel activity on mobile, which is going to be critical for all of you that have stores. Other geo features examples. I like this one because I think it's practical, but it's also kind of funny, and it works a bit like we work on mobile. It basically tells you, this is again a housing example. Tell me, paint with your finger the area in which you want to look for a house. Okay, because lots of times we don't know the zip code, we just know what is the area we want to look for. And technically this is possible, and again, this is a funny way to interact with the consumers through our mobiles, and in a much more, I would say, mobile kind of experience. And then finally, contact alternatives. I think we need to give the customer, again, as many contact options as possible. Here, we are giving them social networks, email, phone. More and more, I am seeing companies offering WhatsApp. Why? Because WhatsApp is the way we all communicate with our friends, and it's the natural way we have now of communication. More and more, I'm seeing companies saying, hey, you want to contact us through WhatsApp? This is our phone number. Why not? Video chat, all the options that might be available and we can use with our phone, just leverage them. And finally, of course, this is not a one-shot thing. Just like in desktop, this is all about learning, iterating, and optimizing. And unfortunately, I would say it never ends. You have to continue and you will learn and find new opportunities to improve your user experience almost every day. So this was the first tip. And probably people will ask me, when you talk about mobile sites, but what about apps? Or actually, do I need an app? Our view is the following. Most of the traffic is going to come through your mobile site. So if I have to prioritize, I would say, first, have your mobile site and your newsletter. Don't forget the newsletter. Right. In our experience, people only download apps and use them when they have a high-frequency contact with that retailer or with that company. People download apps from their bank. If they fly a lot, from their company with whom they fly. But we are not downloading apps from every single retailer. And even if we download them, the key challenge is to get them to buy it. We have a case in Spain, it's Privalia, so it's a private club, and it's doing very, very well on the app. Why? Because they have a high-frequency model. And what is true is that the app is probably mostly used by your most loyal customers. So those that have high frequency will probably want the app. So for me, it's something that at some point you need to consider because I think it drives loyalty. But you have to keep in mind that it's going to be for a little bunch of high loyal customers. It's not going to allow you to acquire a bunch of new customers. The acquisition is going to come through the mobile site. Okay? So second recommendation is about mobile ads. You probably know we have moved recently to what we call enhanced campaigns. And my impression is that most advertisers have moved to enhanced campaigns, but they are not leveraging the full power of enhanced campaigns. And in mobile, there are a lot of features we can use to make our ads more effective and much, much better. So the first thing is mobile extensions. Call extensions. So as I told you, test on the call center. Try to drive more calls to your call center if you can. Second one, location extensions. Okay, how do I drive more traffic to my store? You really have the opportunity to advertise here and to drive people to your stores. And finally, offer extensions. I guess this was covered yesterday. So all the PLAs and all those things that are coming soon. So these, I would say, are the three key extensions that retailers would need to use in their advertising in mobile. Okay. And for me, the key thing is that you need to have a mobile advertising strategy. Once you understand how much mobile represents for your business and how much value it has, then you need to have this mobile strategy. You can adapt the messages. The ads, the creatives in enhanced campaigns can be different and should be different for people that are looking for mobile. Your bidding strategies should be adjusted because your profitability is probably different. So you are willing to pay a different quantity for one click in mobile versus desktop. You can even have different strategies per location. And I have customers with complete different strategies depending on if they have stores in a region or they don't. And these are things you can do through mobile and through enhanced campaigns. So I really just want you to be aware of that and think through it when you come home and think about what is being my mobile strategy on Google. Okay? There are opportunities to improve. And I wanted to share with you this example because I really like it. So Radio Shack is a US retailer. They realized they were measuring mobile and desktop in the same way, and that, in fact, people were using mobile in a completely different way. So they wanted to understand what was the real impact of mobile in their business. And so they decided to launch a specific landing page that was going to have store locator, GPS, and click to call. And they launched a campaign in which they were sending traffic to this landing page. Those were the results. They were absolutely impressed. So 36% of the people that arrived to that landing page were checking on a store locator. And their conclusion is that 40 to 60% of the people engaging with the store locator actually went to the store. And then they say 85% of people that went to the store with a purchase intent actually bought something. So this experiment really allowed them to understand what was the value of mobile. And from there, build a mobile strategy. So we have talked about mobile assets, mobile ads, and now attribution and measurement. And I know this is tough. But as I told you, what we are doing, and this number shouldn't be there, but we are doing a very quick number. Is I have invested this much. This is my return on mobile orders. Therefore, I'm losing money. And the key thing is that we have to measure all that. But I know measuring all that is not easy. The good news is that, at least on our side, we are really working hard to help you do these maths and to help you clarify all those numbers. So, call tracking. We have been launching in a few countries call metrics. We basically give you a few numbers, and this allows you to track in the AdWords interface how many calls we are driving to your call center, what is the length of this call. You can even say, okay, every call that is more than 3 minutes, we can consider a conversion, and then track call as conversions. This is just a first product we have launched, but I think it's going to improve dramatically, because as we are saying, this is generating a lot of value. Think about insurance businesses, telco businesses, where their business is based on phone calls. This is absolutely critical for them. But again, this is something I think you can also leverage. Second thing we are working on is cross-device attribution. We will soon launch, I hope, we are just testing with some customers, cross-device measurement. How will it work? We are basically working with Google login users. So those people that are logged to Gmail, G+, and we can identify if they connect to their mobile or the desktop, we can say this is the same person. So what we are going to see soon in your campaigns is total conversions, as you are seeing today, and then you will see cross-device conversions, only with Google login users. And there's going to be a third column that says estimated total conversions, because the Google login users are a percentage of all users, so we will try to extrapolate what it means for your business. But again, there are a lot of things you can do on the analytics world. And also you need to work, or I would recommend you to work with the registered and login users. Amazon does this very good. So I don't know if you had the experience, but when you log in into Amazon and you are looking for a product, if you go to desktop and you log in, you will immediately see your product, the product you have been looking for. And these are things you can also work through your analytics. And also promoting the cross-device, as I told you, asking people to leave the email and continue in desktop will allow you to track all this process. The third thing we are working on is in-store impact tracking. I can tell you there are a bunch of tests running already in the US. I asked permission to share it with you today, but they didn't allow me. So I cannot share anything, but just let you know that there are very, very interesting things going on that will allow you at some point to understand if people that have clicking on an ad go to your web page are actually visiting your store or not. And then you have offers, which also can allow you to track some of this impact. And of course, I also think with payment methods, this should be changing soon. But I would also argue that it's not because we cannot measure it today that we shouldn't do anything about it. I think in your businesses, and if I was head of retail in one of your companies now, I would try to understand what's going on. James shared with you yesterday the example from Adidas. He didn't put the video. I'm going to show you the case. This is a work they did with their agency, and I think it's really interesting to have a look. Can we have the video in, please?
Adidas has always felt like mobile is the right thing to do. It's the right place for us to be. It's really the ability to connect the investment to the return. My name is Nicole Mills. I'm the Senior Digital Marketing Manager for e-commerce at Adidas America.
My name is Carrie Smith, and I am the Director of Mobility at iProspect, based here in New York City. When it comes to measuring mobile, if we were to look at a one-to-one response or a one-to-one measurement of what our media budget is driving on our mobile site, we're missing a big part of that picture. As performance marketers, a lot of the time we look at direct response. And what mobile is requiring us to do is redefine direct response.
We were just noticing that a lot of people were finding stores using their device. So the central goals were for Adidas and iProspect to sort of come together and figure out a methodology to measure consumers on mobile devices coming into retail and purchasing product.
When we worked with Adidas to figure out what this equation should be, we used a lot of their internal data. We were able to then apply that 1 in every 5 store locator clicks would result in a visit to a store. Based on that, we knew 13% of in-store visits would result in a purchase, and that average order value in-store was about $71. Because we knew that 1 person out of 5 every store locator clicks would actually go into store, it indicated a higher level of intent. So we applied a 20% conversion rate with an average order value of $80. After we ran a couple of tests, we were able to identify that every store locator click was then worth $3.20 for the brand. Once we applied this equation, we found a 680% incremental lift in ROI.
Before, all we would be able to track was if someone made a conversion in the e-commerce channel. After this case study, we now can apply some of these assumptions to then net a positive ROI. At Adidas, it was like, aha, we can play in this space.
So, you mobile, you exist. Thank you.
Exciting stuff, huh? So, we have an expert here on stage, so please get out your best questions, your most trickiest questions. There we go. The back row there has woken up.
Hi. Thanks for the presentation. It's really enlightening. Question, a recent study in the US showed that actually the conversion in the click to open in newsletters is about twice as low, no matter the industry, on mobile versus the desktop. We have the feeling in our business that is really linked to the email behavior, that actually we're losing part of the people. Do you have a view on that? Is it actually a big portion of the people that don't convert, or is it a portion of the people that go directly on the desktop but that don't click in the emails?
I think it will really depend on the business we are talking about. What is happening today is that probably in every single country, more than 60% of emails are being opened through mobile devices. And what also statistics say is that it's open once. So I don't open the email twice. I don't open the email in mobile and then I go to desktop. So we really have to ensure the mobile experience when people open the email is absolutely great. The first question I will need to ask to that study is, how was that mobile experience, that newsletter experience? Was it optimal or not? Because this should be the first question. And then the second thing is, I do have clients that are already telling me I have the same conversion rate in mobile than in desktop, but most of them today have lower conversion rates. What we need to measure is the cross-device. So how many people didn't finalize that action in mobile, but then went to desktop? And this is what we are trying to prove here. There is a huge impact. The key thing is to measure it. So, I mean, thinking about the US, cross categories, I don't know. I cannot tell you a very specific question, but these are the kind of things you need to analyze for your concrete business, I would say. I don't know if it answers your question.
Yeah, no, it's actually an interesting answer. Looking at actually the kind of behavior that you see that the open rates in the mobile emails is kind of the same as on desktop. So it's really a question of giving the users the good experience on mobile, because we believe that at the moment they have a bad experience, they keep that in mind, and so they try to avoid clicking the email because of that bad experience. But of course, testing and measuring is key to define the answer.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Over there.
Thank you so much, Fuen, for your presentation. Without revealing any name and any secret, which technology are those companies in England using to locate products inside the store? I mean, barcodes, shapes of the products, NFC, near-field communications. What are they using?
You mean to people to scan and check products? Yeah. I think you have barcodes, you have QR codes also, and there are more and more technologies coming up, for example, in fashion, about like similar products recognition. So it's product recognition, and then I look on the web, it's photo recognition at the end of the day. No, I take a picture, and then I can tell you what are the similar products around, and this is being developed in fashion.
Mm-hmm. More questions, my friends? Over here? Yeah.
Of enhanced campaigns, but just wanted to, what sort of challenges are you seeing for companies when it comes to using enhanced campaigns?
So first, I'm seeing, well, a first challenge is the fact that they have to think on mobile bid as a percentage of desktop, and this is not always easy to think. And if you have bidding tools, it's probably even tougher because your bidding tools are optimized in desktop, and then mobile changes automatically. So this is a key challenge that they are having today, and that I think we need to work together to find a solution to it. This is the first one. And the second one is that, of course, we are at the beginning of the change, so I don't think they are aware of the full power and all the options they have to tailor in enhanced campaigns. So most of them are having same creatives. Of course, you need to sit down and really think, what is going to be my mobile strategy? In which locations I want to be overspending versus underspending? What is the key message I need to send to the different users based on what they are looking for? Probably the challenge is that you need to rethink a complete new strategy. And what most people are doing is continuing their desktop strategy. So you have a full power here to think about the way people behave is completely different. And the power to send people to the store is huge. You don't have this in desktop in such a clear way. So I really think it's about sitting down, figuring out what is the value of mobile for your business and saying, okay, therefore, this is the strategy I have. And most retailers are not really doing this, are just thinking, okay, this is my conversion, what should be my bidding? Okay, but there are so many other things to do. Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Cool. Any more questions? I have a question for you.
Risky.
I'm
afraid.
You actually answered already the question around kind of like apps and mobile, kind of like or mobile sites. That why should I first do a mobile site or first an app? However, kind of like if I then decide, all right, I need to do a mobile site. Should I do like a separate site with like a separate URL with m dot something, or should I have a responsive design or something? What's your view on that?
I don't have the exact answer. I see what people are doing. Mm-hmm. So probably jumping first time in mobile to responsive design is kind of tough, I would say. I think it's much better to work better through a classic mobile experience, figuring out what is working, not working, optimizing. And once it's clear what you want to do in mobile and how you want to do it, then probably you can jump to a responsive design.
Okay.
I have seen very little retailers jumping directly to responsive design because it's heavy development cost, it's complicated, and if your ideas are not really clear, mm-hmm. it might be tough to develop the whole thing. So I would say is that if it is the first time you jump on mobile, keep it simple, go quicker, learn, optimize, and once you are clear, then you can do the full rollout. That would be my personal advice, but maybe there are other opinions in the room, because you are much more experienced than me, probably in developing all these things.
Do you have any opinions on that?
They want coffee.
They want coffee now, yeah. All right, why don't we just give a huge round of applause to Fuen. Thank you very much.